Welcome to
Hi, Carol. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Hey, Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Hi,
Hi,
Carol,
Carol.
a Pluribus podcast, Apple TV show, Plus's show, Pluribus. My name is Catfish, and with me, as always, is someone who also has a lot of posters of himself up around his house. It's Bubba.
Catfish, you and I are debating the big question about this week, episode 6, Pluribus. Plus, we're going to be talking about the new theory that's racing through Pluribus's hive mind. Is the hive mind like insects? And if it is there a queen, like an insect colony might have a queen?
Love
We're
it.
going to be debating that. Very excited.
I love it, Bubba. And we might as well get right to it. We are talking about episode 6, HDP, y'all. Carol shares a horrific discovery and learns new truths in the process. Mr. Diabaté lives life to the fullest in Sin City. I will be calling him Diabaté, alternately Diabaté. Who knows? Bubba,
Yeah.
what is your
Carol.
rating
Carol.
for episode 6?
Hi, Carol.
I'm going 8 out of 10. Now, what's weird is this week's episode, I think, has actually fewer plot points than episode 5 did. But episode 6, the visual rhythm, I thought was better. It was more engaging, and I was more engaged. This episode, once again, it didn't feel like much happened. There's a 5-minute monologue from John Cena, but I really enjoyed this episode. 8 out of 10. And I know last week you and I were debating the pacing and is it too slow? And we have so much great feedback about that. For whatever reason, especially in all this Vegas stuff, or Vegas, baby, I thought it moved pretty well. So 8 out of 10 for me. What is your rating for episode 6, HDP?
Well, Bubba, obviously, I've got to put this on the triple D scale.
Triple D.
Yeah, Diabate's decadent desires.
Oh,
I am going to give this 7.5 out of 10. Bubba's interesting. I had a party at my house last night. Two
What?
couples sitting on the couch talking about Pluribus. One couple given up already by episode 4 because it was
Whoa.
too slow. And the other couple not only loved the pace, they called it a great character study, which is interesting to me because I don't feel like I'm learning more and more about Carol, new things about Carol. We are learning more kind of new, interesting, or at least we have more evidence for whatever conjectures we're making about the hive mind.
Yeah.
But I think what this episode proved to me that it's not the slowness of it. It's because we're focusing on only two characters, Carol and the hive mind, and that's what makes it feel slow. Having Double D,
Double D.
Delicious Diabaté, and Double M,
Double M.
Mistrustful Menudos,
Hey,
makes
yeah.
it much better. So the fact is, we've got twice as many characters to focus on this week, and it's plus an appearance by John Cena, which was out of nowhere. Also, I kind of liked, and Bubba, I don't know whether this is intentional, but
But
as they were going through the party on the way to seeing Diabaté at the poker table, I saw somebody who was dressed and looked just like Timothy Chalamet. So I thought, are they trying to like make me think there's Timothy Chalamet, part of the hive mind? And then they get to the table and they had somebody who looked a lot like Gerard Depardieu. Now, it was bearded, and also he wasn't in jail, so I doubt that it was that they were really intending it. But the Chalamet thing was like, it would be funny if they had people show up like, hey, that's so and so, but they're just part of the hive mind now.
Apple can afford Timothy Chalamet. If they want him in their show, they'll put him in their show.
Look, I don't think it's. I don't think you could get in trouble for having kind of like a look-alike there. Yeah, so I think really we've been talking about having not enough people, but really, I don't mind the pace or the stuff that's not happening in the plot as long as we have some more people, especially our hero, Delicious Diabaté. I mean, just having fun. He's like, you know what's appearing on stage at every casino in Vegas? Diabaté, baby.
What Diabaté does in Vegas It doesn't stay there. It goes
It
around the
it
world in the hive
it goes
mind.
it goes wherever Diabate wants it to go. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Listeners, we've given our thoughts. We want to know
Yep.
your thoughts. We are three friends talking about this great show, Pluribus. You are the third friend. We need your thoughts to complete this conversation. Reach out to us on
Absolutely.
social media at double PHQ. If you're on YouTube, go down in those comments. We have wonderful, marvelous comments and feedback every week. We need more. If you're watching this on YouTube, go down in those comments. Let us know what you think. Coming up in just a few weeks, we're going to be in 2026 on the 18th of
Holy cow.
January of 2026. We're back in the world of Westeros with our coverage of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We've got Silo Season 3, House of the Dragon Season 3, Only Murders in the Building Season 6, Slow Horses Season 6, Babylon Berlin Season 5, and who knows what
Wow.
else. We need you with us telling us, hey, this is what I'm thinking. And Catfish, we
Yeah,
Hi,
tell me.
Carol.
every
Hi,
week we
Carol.
tackle
Hey,
these big
Carol.
questions,
Hi, Carol.
Yeah.
even questions that, let's be honest, sometimes our listeners are frustrated with, like, why are you guys attacking Carol? Why are you guys saying this show is slow? We get these ideas because of your great feedback. Once again, you're our third
Absolutely.
friend, giving us the ideas for these big questions. What is our big question after episode 6?
Well, Bubba, we learned something very disturbing this week
Oh
that
yeah.
really adds fuel to the fire when you have to discuss the hive mind. They say they can't kill anything living, and as a result of that, eventually the majority of the human host bodies will starve and die. So, is the hive mind truly moral?
I'll just dive in and say,
Do it.
yes, the hive mind is moral. If you have some beliefs and you're willing to die for those beliefs, I don't think that's immoral. I think they have a belief that they don't want to kill anything living. And in some ways, we don't comprehend that because we don't really consider the life of a plant the same life as everything else. We, in our modern world, are making judgment calls. Even vegetarians or anybody beyond vegetarianism, we're making a call that, hey, me picking an apple doesn't, in reality, it is picking an apple and killing the apple, but we don't see that as immoral. But they have made the decision they don't want to kill. And so they have a belief, they're willing to die for it. And in some ways, goes against what I've been saying. I've been saying,
Hmm.
okay, I still look at everybody as millions of individuals with one mind, right? But they aren't looking at it. They're really thinking of, hey, this is us. And if, as some of our listeners have said, people die, our appendages die to follow up with our personal beliefs. Again, I don't see, I'm not sure moral is the right call. So I don't think it's immoral. What do you think?
Okay, so but by following
Which was logic. Thank you.
your logic, which was they can't kill a plant
Hmm.
because they don't value a human life more than a plant. But what they're doing is they're valuing a plant more than they are valuing a human life because they have to think about there are consequences to your actions. You can't go through life like a child saying, I'm not going to eat that, but because of that, someone's going to die. Well, that's okay because I didn't. I didn't do that. I'm not responsible for that. They are directly responsible for taking over a human body and then sacrificing that body. That's killing by inaction. If you cause harm by inaction, that's as bad as causing harm by action. And so if you say we're going to let this human being die because we're not going to kill a plant, you are making a value judgment there. So you are making a decision. Now let me say this.
Okay.
To me, it seems like they're sort of by following the rule of the law that any kind of sentient species would see the problem in this. I don't think this is a logical fault that the show has. I think there's something else going on here. In other words, to me, it seems like this is wrong thinking or not thinking at all by following this. And I don't think that the writers of the show are making the mistake. I think there are other things going on.
Let me ask you a big picture question.
Okay.
if I pick an apple out of the tree, the
Hmm.
apple tree is not going to die. That specific apple will be
Right.
removed, but in some ways, is it no different from a toenail, right? If I clip off a toenail, I'm still fine. But what was that nail that was growing? I've now clipped it and it is dead. So why can't they just pick an apple? Why couldn't you, sometimes plants, they drop apples. Certainly, we know that. So this is tough. But again, because the question is framed as morality, I don't see it as immoral. And they are drinking HDP to keep all these human beings alive as long as they can, right?
Right. I just think
So
you can't if you can't go through life and say that there are no consequences to not making choices. There are consequences to making choices. There's consequences to doing things, there's consequences to not doing things, right? And
mhm.
so if you are of the opinion that you can't kill things, you can only harvest them when they're dead, then you shouldn't, it's immoral to have as your goal, I need to affect and bring as many organisms into my hive mind, even if I don't have the resources, that I'm not going to be able to access the resources I need to keep them going. I think that's the moral part. You know what I mean? If you can only feed 10 people,
Hmm.
then don't bring in 100 people into your house and just say, here's what's going to happen. We're just going to wait to see who dies first, and that person will feed the rest of us. Cool?
A lot of people did experience that over Thanksgiving. So thanks, Kevin. Sorry, why is this show so engaging to people? Why, sure, some people at your party yesterday jumped out, but
They're
why are
out.
people still here? Catfish, while you were talking, I was thinking of all the living things. Is the flu virus, is that living? And do you not want to kill it?
It is living.
And so you're not going to have any more flu shots, right? So
Are you
if
saying that RFK is the queen of the hive mind?
Catfish, don't spoil RFK Jr. He he he's one of the joined.
I
In
mean,
fact,
he certainly has a
he
history of using dead animals for in strange ways.
he allowed that worm to live in his brain because he
He
couldn't kill
did.
it.
He did. He moved and posed the bear, kept
Right.
kept the whale on the
Remember the
hood.
whale on the hood? Keep living,
You
RFK
know what?
Jr.
We could stop watching this show right now. It turns out this show is just about RFK Jr.
Are we sure? How about this?
Okay.
They know that this could happen. They've told Mr. Diabaté and they've told everybody, hey, we could
Yeah.
starve, right? And they are allowing Mr. Diabaté and people who haven't joined and flipped the script yet to come up with solutions, right? So if you're Carol and you
Yeah.
hate what has happened to humanity with this changing, do you fight to save their starvation? Like how Mr. Diabate said, "Hey, maybe you can help us come up with a way they won't starve."
So that you can stop them from starving and then figure out how to get these people back before the hive mind kills them through inattention, laziness, or some sort of weird moral code that lets you take over people's bodies and let those bodies waste
Once
away.
again, you say take over. They
Yeah,
haven't taken over. No, nobody has taken over. These are the human beings where it's like you are so grouchy and grumpy, even though you had this great
right.
party yesterday. And so it's what if I gave you the choice to never be grouchy and grumpy, but to always to be happy? The gentleman in Paraguay, and I always mispronounce his name, I apologize, Manusos. His mom was a terrible person, but now they flipped a script. and she's always
Right.
pleasant,
And
right?
now he
It's still
says,
her. He said,
no,
"Hey,
he says, you're not my mom. My mom's a bitch. Maybe that's where you and I have the disconnect because my assumption is they have grabbed all these people's memories, but they've taken away their personalities, their thoughts, their whatever. They have all their thoughts, but they're not really, they have all their memories, but they're not themselves in any way now.
is not a human being's personality shaped by the experience they've gone through in life, right?"
Right.
Like
And now all these people are happy. The mom is no longer a bitch. That's the thing. Their
because
personalities are gone now.
well, no, it's because the thing she's gone through in life is now exponentially more. And so it's still her, but in addition to the pain she's gone through in life, she's had all these other incredible experiences. And so
Okay,
maybe that
so
would make you happy.
that is where we're having the disconnect because I no longer believe, like if I believe they're still in there, it's like when you read those stories and people have been taken over by somebody and their mind, they're trapped behind there trying to get out. They're no longer able to express themselves.
Why do you think I'm a happy-go-lucky guy who's always the life of the party, partying it up? I was at your party last night. Everybody was
Hmm.
like, "Man, you should be hosting this party instead of Catfish." And, I didn't defend you. I just agreed with them. I was like, "You're right." I did it because of my life experience. But
Hmm.
now, my life experience, like, what's on my bucket list? Guess what? I've done my bucket list. I've done it because now I have all these experiences I never had before. And if that means that I have to possibly in the next 20 years starve to death, that's unfortunate, but
See, this is it. This is where we disagree as to what's happening.
okay.
I believe they are all just one organism that has the memories of all these people, but are not these people no longer still exist in there. And the reason why that Lakshmi's son can pretend to be her son is because he's got all these memories, but he no longer loves her any more than he loves everyone else. He would do for everyone else what he would do for her, just the same exact thing. Carol's pirate lady. She was about to go out with Mr. Diabaté. She doesn't care about her, and I would
Well,
say she cares as much for Lakshmi as Lakshmi's son cares for Lakshmi.
fair. And that's bad. Everybody cares about each other. Boy, what a hater you are.
I would like to hear what our listeners have to say about that
Yeah,
because I'm
amen.
sure they could come up with a better answer than I that would tell you why they agree with me.
Hi, Carol. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol. Hi, Carol. Hi,
Yes,
Carol. Hi,
please.
Carol.
Once again,
People
this,
come to my defense. Bubba,
yeah,
we always say, who cares what we think?
yes,
We
yes.
really want to hear you talk about this. And in fact, we did have some people talk about this new thing you mentioned at the top, Hive Mind Queen.
We got this feedback from Bill Cava,
Yeah.
great loyal listener, who wrote the whole Hive thing, along with the drone, in Bill's opinion, highlights insects. That's what he's thinking about. Insects. The way Hive people were restocking sprouts surely mimicked a line of ants carrying crumbs. I think the season one finale slash cliffhanger will reveal a queen leader. Woo, hoo, hoo.
Oh, I like that. And Wayne Rogers says this is not an alien invasion, but a dark state takeover of the planet. Astronomer number one also dismisses claims by others that it could be Earth-based source bouncing off the moon, yet does not disagree with the coworker he shares discovery with when the same possibility is suggested. An alien race would have to have a deep and detailed knowledge of the human being to send a recipe for a lysogenic virus that was capable of cross-pollinating two very different branches of the genetic tree of life. Seems to me more likely as a small group of elites. I'll call the queen that have realized the long desired goal of total subservience of humanity. I'm thinking DNA from bees or ants is being used. This DNA dominates human social and behavioral traits. Wayne also shares a few fun facts about ants. Ants will completely vacate a colony if environmental conditions become unsafe or stressful, ergo the evacuation of Albuquerque.
Wayne,
Whoa.
another great loyal listener. Holy smoke. So these are two listeners. This is something bubbling up in the Pluribus fan hive mind. Catfish, what do you think? Do you want there to be a queen, to be someone who all these people kind of follow and listen? Or is that too far into sci-fi and you want it to be a character study like you were talking about, where how does the crankiest person on earth deal with everybody being a hive mind against her? What do
No,
you
I
want?
love the idea of this queen leader, this queen business. And it sounds like, but by the way, these two different listeners have different ideas. Bill didn't say anything about saying that that we've got sort of the queen elite. So do we have queen elites running the planet and have everybody do everything for them? And they're very scared of these last 12 people that they could ruin everything. Or is this an alien queen invasion? Oh, let's just say non-terrestrial, not human designed.
Who
Let's
do,
say that.
so who would you have be the queen? Let's go down this rabbit hole. Who should be the queen? Are they all the queen, or there should be another consciousness? Your
Oh
complaint
yeah,
is we only
no.
have two characters, the hive mind and Carol. A third of the queen would be delicious.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A queen. I think. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anybody we have seen not acting like, a regular ant. There would be no need for the queen to disguise themselves. So it would be nice if the queen were somebody we haven't met yet.
Hi,
I mean,
Carol. Hi,
yes,
Carol.
please give us someone new.
Hi,
All
Carol.
right, Bubba,
Hi,
let's
Carol.
go to segment two. Which Twilight episode are we in? As we
Mm.
all know, the original Twilight Zone focused a lot on aliens and alien scares, but also just the idea of aliens illuminated our humanity. So every week we're going to pick an old Twilight Zone episode that we think most parallels this episode. Bubba, I'm going to start. I'm picking season 3, episode 11 of
Okay.
The Good Place.
Wait, what about the Twilight Zone, the good place? Whoa, what's
Well,
this?
you know what? Now we're focusing a lot on morality. At least I was focused on the morality of the choices here.
Okay.
And as we all know, The Good Place talked a lot about morality. And in season 3, episode 11, The Book of Dougs, Doug Forsett, played by Link to Pluribus, actor Michael McKean,
Yep.
is a kind, lonely man living a life of extreme self sacrifice and
Mhm.
austerity in an effort to accumulate enough points to get to the good place. He is attempting to be a moral person by not eating anything, by not, if he steps on something by mistake, he's got to go on long walks. And so to me, it was just the idea that there's no real way to be completely moral in life without causing problems one way or the other. Okay, and so that's what kind of reminded me of this episode. Bubba, what about you?
Okay, so you totally broke ranks. This is
I
called the
did,
Twilight Zone, and you picked the good place. So
right?
I am going to the original Twilight Zone, season 8, episode 2, The Hangover. So in this
Uh-huh.
episode,
Four guys go to Vegas.
where
That's why
guys
I
go to
reminded you.
Vegas,
That's why I reminded you.
four guys go to Vegas, and
Uh-huh.
there's this weird one of them disappears, man. Where did he go? And they wake up the next morning, just like Carol woke up the next morning.
Right, right.
And there's this, they have this encounter with a celebrity, Mike Tyson. And you would, I mean, it's how Rod Serling thought of this. Incredible. There's this strange being in the trunk of their car. So
Right, right,
this
right, right,
episode
right.
really reminded me of it.
Hi,
Yeah.
Carol. Hi, Carol.
Wow. Okay, things went off the rail. I mean, things took 6 episodes to go off the rail. That's pretty good for us. All right, segment 3, you gotta laugh. We need some levity amongst all this drinking of people and John Cena showing up.
Oh man.
So I noted 3 what I thought were amusing bits in this episode. Bubba always comes up with an
Let's
extra
hear it.
one, and
Let's hear
it's
it.
better. All right, well, when after Diabaté wins at poker, the guy who's got the eye patch on and is obviously supposed to be like an evil Bond billing villain also starts clapping and he's like, "Hey, stay in character, man." It was so
Come
funny
on,
when he's
man.
just like he forgot. He's like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you." And then after Diabaté is leaving and some people offer to join him, there's like anyone else. And the two guys were like raise their hand. They're like, and he's like, "Man, maybe next time." And
Heck yeah.
then my favorite at the end of the episode, our boy Manusos, "You're not my mom. My mom's a bitch."
Hey now, man, oh man, these are all good.
Yep.
But for 5 straight minutes, John Cena delivered the goods, Catfish. He delivered the goods. It just, to me, based on this show, the way he starts, the first three words, we're John Cena. That is gold, man. That's my
Hi,
choice.
Carol.
So
All
Hi,
right.
good.
Carol.
Okay. Love
Hi,
it. Love
Carol.
it.
Hi,
All
Carol.
right. Well,
Hi,
Bubba,
Carol.
man, we have just, there's so much to discuss on this show. Let's get through the episode recap just to remind everybody what they just saw.
Catfish, this is very disturbing. A lot of
Hmm.
people, they convinced me with their feedback that, oh, they're human bones, they're human bones. But this is not human bones wrapped up in there, dude. That is full bodies, meat grinders, and vats.
Parts is parts, Bubba.
Well, let's talk about this. I mentioned this in my rating of the episode. So many times I've gone out drinking with friends, and
Yeah.
yet the Hive Mind have totally got it even better than me. They're always drinking with their friends. Oh my God. Did you see it being this gross? A human head, man. Yuck.
No, but I was glad we got to the reveal and you get the
Yeah.
meat grinders and the vats. You know, the funny thing is I kind of thought it would be grosser, but it all seemed very clinical. I think they would, if there were still any FDA people left, they would still give that an A.
Carol is going to not trust the mail. She wants to deliver this in person to somebody
Hmm.
to show them the horrific things, the immoral things, in your words, that are being done. But
Hmm.
before she leaves, oh, yeah, I spilled some of that powder, AKA human dust, all over my carpet. I better go vacuum that up. Oh, my God. Horrific. Horrific. It was even her with her camera filming this. It was, to me, it reminded me of Blair Witch Project. Look at this. Look at this. Let me show you what I'm filming
Yeah,
with
yeah,
all
yeah.
this shaky tray. Visual rhythm. We're cutting from, this Blair Witch Project horror movie to a Bond movie. So, Catfish, you hate the hive mind so much, but if once in your life you were in a scenario like this, would you cast yourself in a Bond movie playing in a big casino, a high stakes poker game with beautiful people all around you? If the world's going to end, he's going to have a fun time. I love
It
this
is.
character. Come on. Come on.
It is pretty darn good. I mean, what I liked was he must have told them, listen, even I want to hear the buzz. You got to play act this all the way out in the hallway. Like this has
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
be this has
yeah.
got to be hopping. Like I people can't even like shut down when I'm at the table. What if I have to run to the bathroom? You need to make this pop, baby.
What I thought was fascinating, as soon as we got to it, we followed drinks, right? And I'm thinking, well,
Hmm.
are these people going to actually drink? Are these the hive minders? Are these joined people actually going to drink? I don't know if we actually saw anybody. Then my second thought was, well, would the drink include the human body parts? But apparently not. Like they are playing their part very, very well. And it is just for his benefit, but I mean, to get all dolled up to find those clothes, I mean, this is crazy.
Well, this is
Wonderful.
a good time to talk about it. I mean, it is wonderful, and I'm all in. But if they're really trying to like save people, well, I guess their imperative to join is higher than saving people because in this, they're wasting energy, and therefore the
Yes.
people need more energy. When they fully fill up the grocery store for Carol, all those things are going to go bad, and they could use those things to feed people.
They are
Yeah,
not being constructive with their time, Catfish. They are
they're not
just,
being constructive with their time. They are being very, very wasteful with their
yes.
goods when it comes to the people that they're trying to subsume.
Would you, now I know
Mhm.
that is where Elvis stayed, but if you're going to Vegas to take over, you really would stay at the Westgate? I mean, come on.
No, circus, circus all the way,
No.
baby.
Oh my God, no fun Carol is coming. I
Hmm.
love the fact that we don't even want to deal with her. We're just going to put up a digital sign. Welcome, Carol, up on the 30th floor. This is pure Vegas opulence. I love it.
I mean, and they are so dedicated to this bit. Even the cleaning lady who's about to jump into the hot tub to join our boy, she's like, "Oh no, we all got to go because Carol, she's bad juju."
She is. And, I forget how many days are we into this? Maybe 11 days, whatever it is. You would think, I would think that, okay,
Yeah.
yes, he's having the time of his life or almost the time of his life with in the world that it's become, but he kind of looks miserable that Carol's there. And like as she's going through her spiel, leading him up to the part about where he says to her, "Is this about them eating people?" He's not excited. Catfish, you're sick of the show only having two characters. He's kind of upset that he's getting a third character in Carol in his life. That did shock me a bit.
Well, you know what was interesting about him is we see him later on talking on the phone, but she
Yeah.
seems very lonely.
Yes.
He is all for Carol having a better life as
Yeah.
long as he's not dragged into it.
Well,
And Carol's a bummer. Is she wearing an eye patch? No.
but he could have a real game. We talked about that scenario of where you do want reality. Do you think they
He's not
let
ready
him
for
win?
he is
Do you
not
think
ready
they
for
gave
that
him
yet.
that royal flush?
Of course they did.
Hmm.
Of course they gave him the royal flush. He is not at that point yet where I'm going to pick the Twilight Zone episode that you wasted a long time ago. He is not at that point where he is finding this constant winning, constant people sucking up to him
Yeah.
to be tiring. He is all in. He loves himself loving up people. He loves himself people loving up on him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it hasn't been long enough for him to be sick of it. That's what I think.
Yeah.
He says, once all's said and done, he's like, John Cena does make a very convincing case. What did you think, Catfish? This is a 5-minute infomercial for HDP.
Yeah, this is where I lost my mind. This is where, and again, it was a
But it's
two-step
not about the
process.
HDP. You're losing your mind about them willing to starve themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
no, I mean, listen, I mean, for me, like, dead is dead, and live is live, and
Well,
so,
sometimes dad is better.
well, for them, dead is the only thing on the menu. So, that didn't bother me. It didn't bother me them eating the dead people. What bothers me is they're willing to sacrifice the people who are still alive.
Well, let's go further into this, Catfish.
Hmm.
John Cena says
Hmm.
nearly 100,000 people pass away each day due to natural causes and accidents. Of those 100,000 people, say
Hmm.
you had a heart attack, say you fell down some stairs and broke your
Hmm.
neck,
Hmm.
that would be pain. Does all the hive mind feel that? Do all the joined feel the heart attack? 100,000 times a day when somebody passes away.
Well, you know what? They might. I mean, they all. When Carol gets mad at one of them, they all short out.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you felt what 8 billion people felt, I'm not sure how you could go on unless you can compartmentalize it.
Okay. We asked this last week, and listeners, I want to hear from you. Would you drink HDP? You down with HDP? Yeah, you know
Yeah.
me. So you would drink a catfish. HDP.
Why do I have to drink it? I'm the one who gets the full market.
No, 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 no.
Hmm.
Show solidarity with your fellow man.
No, no, they're not. They're no longer my fellow man.
There you come on one time.
No, 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 zero times.
What if
Yeah, tell me.
they'll open up Circus Circus for you?
Hi, Carol. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol.
I'll
Hi,
take a
Carol.
sip for
Hi, Carol.
Circus
Hi,
Circus.
Carol.
Catfish,
But they got to do all the shows.
you need protein. They got to do all the shows. Come on.
All of them. All
Oh,
of them.
man. Listeners, would you drink HDP? It's full of protein, probably very low in calories, I would think. What do you think HDP tastes like, Catfish?
I mean, human damn people, isn't it? Isn't that what it isn't that what it stands for? This is human damn people you're drinking.
Catfish, no, the P is for protein, I'm pretty sure. H,
All right,
human derived protein.
it's human damn people, damn it.
Oh, good shit. Okay, so Mr. Diabaté, he's known a week, man. He's
No,
known
I
a
like
week.
Mr.
He's got
Diabati. He's like, yeah, it's not optimum.
So is it especially cold that Carol, they're only, and I always lose track, is it 11 or 12? How many other consciousness besides the joint
There's
are there?
12 of them together, right?
And then if I understand this correctly, 10 of them are on a group text or a group call, and she's not a part of it. Oh. And she's not a part of it partially because when she had them all meet up in Spain, she was like, I only want to talk to the English speakers. Ouch. Ouch.
That was a little cold of her. Well, she didn't think anybody could reliably translate for them. But what's the matter? She doesn't have those new Apple iPods, the
Right.
earbuds. Come on.
Yeah. Okay, so
Hmm.
Diabate, his picture is on the side of the casino. He's got a picture of himself in his own bathroom, right?
Hmm.
What you want to see when you're in the restroom. I mean, this is just tough. And he makes her breakfast, avocado toast, and he's willing to learn. He sees how she eats it, kind of throwing everything on the bread and then shoving it in her mouth. And he tries it, and he's like, "Hey, this is pretty good." So why is he
There
so
was enough
cold to her?
protein in those two breakfast sandwiches
To save
that
all,
people
right?
for yeah, to save all the people who were at that party.
So, but what I'm saying is he makes her breakfast. He really
Mhm.
does. I don't think minds her so much. But, she's like, hey, I'll go get another room at the casino and we can continue to hang out. And he's a bit cold. He's like, no, that's not it. And she's like, oh, I was kidding. I'm going to leave. Ouch, man. Ouch. Brutal for poor, lonely Carol.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, there's two ways to look at this from their point of view. One, Carol is always hassling them, and
Yes.
two, she's hassling them for a good reason, and they want to ignore that good reason and let just the good times roll. Either
Again,
way, whatever reason they're using, they do not want to be presented with Carol's constant, "We have to fix this."
we've already mentioned this multiple times. When are they going to come around? When are they going to come around and realize they have to fix it? Or will they never? Will literally we have these two human beings, our friend in Paraguay and Carol, fighting alone for the rest of the series.
No, I think that they will get them to come around. And again, this is part of what I'm saying. I don't think that what we're hearing from the hive mind makes complete sense,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think that it's the show writers that aren't making sense. So I think there's more that's going on to be found out that when they can expose that will be more shocking to the 10 other people than the hive mind drinking dead people.
Would the hive mind ever just give up on trying to get consent? Like their goal for a big long time was, hey, we don't know why you didn't, become one of us, but we're working on it. Now it's like, well, we know we can do it, but we need access to your stem cells and we're not going to, prod you without your consent. Is the hive mind content now? What do you think with, okay, we failed, we didn't get everybody, but we got a really high percentage. All but these people, let's just give up.
I mean, this all relies on what the hive mind is thinking, and I
Hmm.
don't think we know the true
No, we don't.
answer to that yet. right? I mean, on one hand, the hive mind could be, presumably, the hive mind's idea is, they've got to come to some sort of stasis as a group as far as the population, but they also want to create more. So presumably they'll do their own breeding program. But how are they going to feed those kids? I mean, the question
Yeah.
is how long, like at a certain point, the hive mind, if it continues, can also outlive all these people who are not in the hive mind.
No, good, great point. Great point.
So
What did they do at that point? Eat them? Drink them, excuse me.
I
Take.
mean, you have to wonder at what point, if the only thing that you can do is eat fruit that falls from the trees
Yeah.
or animals that die or
Hmm.
humans that die,
Hmm.
what level of population is sustainable under those circumstances? Because at a certain point, you're going to run out of human bodies. What's their max population they can actually support? 100,000, and they all have to kind of move to the same place? Like, it doesn't seem to me that you could support a large population if you're not doing any farming. Like, do you say, "Oh, okay, I'm going to plant these crops just because I believe in the environment," but in the back of your head, you're thinking, and then these crops will grow and they'll fall off the tree and then I can eat
Right.
them? Because it seems to me if you're fully moral, you can't say, I'm going to plant these things because I know they'll grow and die and then I can eat them. That's also not moral. Like, how far are they going to go to not do anything to cause death? And so if they're really not even going to plant things, they can't sustain that many people
Mm.
eventually.
These are the questions, and in season two, we'll know all the answers.
I doubt we'll
I
know it
doubt
in
that.
season
Okay,
two.
okay.
All right. So,
Let me
all right.
ask you this. Let
Yeah.
me ask you this. As
Hmm.
Carol is leaving, she's had her communication through the phone message to the Westgate electronic sign out front, where she doesn't give her consent. When she hits the road, Mr. Diabate tells her that, hey, the world misses her. Zoja misses her. Is that true? Does the hive mind miss Carol?
Well, in
I think
your
it has to be true because they can only tell the truth, right? So if they
well,
told him
right, but
that,
it's also it's your if your supposition is true that if just one person thinks something,
mhm,
they all think it,
yeah.
even if they're also at the same time thinking diametrically opposed things, then yes, they could miss her. But Bubba, I just want to stand up. You know what? I've sort of have been the Carol supporter
Yeah.
on this podcast because I think she's handled this a lot better than I would. But I just want to stand up and applaud for Carol when Diabaté says maybe you would have an idea to save them from starvation. And she says, I don't know, maybe tell them to pick a fucking apple. I wanted to stand up and cheer. I'm like, yes, that's right,
Yo,
Carol.
that was so hurtful. I went into kind of a convulsion
You started
shock
shaking.
to
Yeah, I know.
support the hive
I know. I
mind
know that.
with
That's
that
who you
naughty
are.
language of hers. So, hey, because it's been a day, we got up to 12 days after this horrific event has taken over the earth. But we rewind the clock back to 9 days. We go back to Paraguay, and I believe this
Yeah.
proves my theory is correct. Manusos is going through all those radio frequencies, and on 8.163.0, he hears pulses. And to me,
Okay.
that's how they're communicating. He's going to jam the signal. And they bring him food, man. They are bringing him food, and he is still overturning it. Ungrateful.
Well, but listen,
Yeah.
you say that, and yet he opens up the package they give him. Come on. Now he sees it is Carol's address. He recognizes the name. He's like, all right. He goes in,
Hmm.
pulls food out of his fridge. I don't know,
Yeah.
9 days, Bubba. Who
Oh
knows what
boy.
he had in there? Hope it's good.
Mm.
And then he watches the tape.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah,
He watches the tape. And
yeah,
so obviously what the show is implying is that he's going to go all the way
yep.
to Albuquerque to find Carol.
Hmm.
What do
Yeah.
we know about him? Just like the hive mind have their own kind of moral code about, hey, we don't kill things, period, and stop. remember, he could have broken into those lockers. And even when he did, he wrote notes apologizing and saying, hey, I owe you, this cat food I stole from your locker.
Right.
Here, he's not even willing to take anybody else's car. He's going to take his hunk of junk that can barely start. Is he just as bad as the hive mind? Is he immoral for not getting in a better car, a better mode of transport to get up to Carol?
Well, he's not hurting anybody else through action or
Well,
inaction.
hold on. The hive mind wasn't hurting anybody else through action or inaction.
No, they're prepping for that.
Right, they're getting ready to hurt somebody through inaction.
Hi, Carol. Hi, Carol. Hi, Carol. Hi,
All right,
Hi,
Bubba,
Carol.
let's get to
Hi,
our great
Carol.
that wraps up this episode. We got some pieces moving together.
Great end of the episode music with that version of "When You're a Stranger" by The Doors. Loved it. When You're Strange. Oh, so
Love
good.
it. All right, Bubba, we get to segment 4, our skin suit of the week, the
Yes.
Hive MVP. Bubba, Zombie Italian said the skin suit of the week will be the drone that crashed.
Oh, wait, that's see going off the board. Why does everybody go off the board, Catfish? This makes no sense. Come on.
All right,
Who do you
my
have? Let's hear.
skin suit of the week is Timothy Chalamet walking by in the party.
Come on.
So good, so good. Listen, if you didn't occur to you, watch it again. See if they're not making him nod to Timothy Chalamet. What about you, Bubba?
Well, because my father, R.I.P. Dad, loved James Bond so much, the fact that we see Mr. Diabaté there in a Bond movie, and one of the beautiful women next to him is named Vesper, that's got to be it. That's got to be it. That is a great Easter egg for James Bond. Vesper, my
All right.
hive mind of the week.
Blew it. I'm so sad. In my head, I'd wagered that you were going to pick the cleaning lady. All right, segment 5.
Wait a minute. If I pick Vesper, does that also mean I'm picking the cleaning lady? Like if I want
No. It's only the skin suit. That's what we call it, skin suit of the week.
Okay.
All right, segment 5. It's Pluribus or US. Based on this week's episode, where would you rather live? And we've got some feedback, Bubba. Chris Laska says, I'm thoroughly in the US camp. And I'd enjoy as much of what's left over while I could. I think we can tell what's in the store long term if we know one thing. Are the hive mind people reproducing? If the answer is no, then it's bad news. It would mean the aliens want us out of the picture. If the hive people are doing the dirty deed hive style, then there's hope for humanity. Obviously, her horrific discovery will shed light on what's really going on. The interesting thing, Bubba, is when we talk about them reproducing, since my opinion is those people are trapped in there, they had kind of a soul before that soul is subsumed. Would any people who are the result of the hive mind producing, would they have their individual soul? Would they have their own personality if they grew up, say 5 or 6 years, and then Carol was able to reverse this process? What would these
wow.
children
Wonderful
have?
question. Wonderful question. I don't know. I was going to go the other way. I was going to say, this is very disturbing, but I'm just saying, what if Mr. Diabaté and the cleaning lady had a child? Would it be immune like he is, or would it be part of the hive mind like she is?
All right. Well, these are two questions we need to hear the answers to. Bubba, as far as this week for the Pluribus or US,
Yeah.
man, I have driven on this trip in Las Vegas. You go about 1 mile an hour.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's actually faster to walk, which is still slow because there's so many people on the streets. It takes you forever to get anywhere. So I would say if you want to live the Vegas lifestyle, baby, Pluribus is the answer. Easy, no cars, no people.
Okay.
Bubba, what about you? This week, Pluribus or US?
I kind of already given it away. You're telling me if I go to Vegas, the only casino that's happening is the Westgate by the convention center? Forget it. The real US. The real US. Heck yeah, USA.
All right. I won't mention that you could get MGM. You can get wherever you want.
Well, yeah,
All right.
MGM's kind of
Yeah,
come
no,
on,
no, you're right. You're right.
which one?
Yeah.
Circus. That was a
No, no, that
terrible,
was a joke. I think
witty
you can get like
joke.
39 a night rooms over at Circus.
Right, $2
Is it
prime
Wins?
rib.
I don't even know. I haven't been there in so long.
Wins,
I
yeah,
don't even
wins
know
is
what
it's
the latest
nice,
one
but
is.
maybe it's not
The
fun.
Venetian.
Maybe, yeah,
All
maybe.
right, all right. Listen, this is what listeners can give us feedback on the best place that Bubba and I can't afford in Vegas.
Heck yeah.
Bubba and I used to go to Vegas for college football championship weekend, and we would
Hi,
Yeah.
always
Carol. Hi,
try to get the
Carol.
best deals, but never Circus at least. All
Thank
right, our
God.
feedback from
Feedback.
Dooley's Left Legs, a longtime loyal listener. I collectively call the joined the Donut Lickers, but I do like Life of Brianers.
Oh, that's pretty good. That was yours. I think that's pretty good, Catfish. Now, Kay Shalhoub asked this question, and it
Yep.
was kind of a big question about our podcast. They wrote, I thought Buddy Hackett passed away.
Oh man, that is a comment about me. Let me tell you something. I for a while I would hear something else, but I would say it's about 25 years ago I started getting Buddy Hackett.
Oh,
So
wow.
for the people who know, if you know, you know.
Heck yeah.
Arda Floyd says, "Hello, my beloved, favorite, and coolest people." Oh, I don't. I guess is that to us, Bubba? I don't think so. You're double L here.
Double L.
Loyal listener. I've been away for a long
Oh,
time, then suddenly saw Catfish in the Shameless series and realized how much I miss you guys. So I'm back. Bubba, I love you too. Don't get jealous.
I'm
Thank you so
jelly.
much, Arda.
Thank you so much. Now, last week in our big question,
Let's
we
hear it.
touched on a topic that really got a lot of feedback. Really, I think got us some unsubscriptions. Please don't unsubscribe. Give us your feedback. You're the third part of this great podcast. So, is Pluribus too slow? Let's start off with Sarah, who wrote, I've already heard it about Twin Peaks The Return, and you guys saying Severance was too slow. It's not too slow for me. Well, Sarah,
All
you
right.
are 100% correct. I went back and kind of looked at some of our podcasts.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
said Pluribus obviously was slow at times. We've said
Right.
Silo, the beginning of season
Okay.
2,
Yeah,
we thought
sure.
that was slow. Andor, those first
Yeah.
couple of
Oh, no.
episodes. The
Oh, no,
Terror,
no.
Infamy, Ahsoka, Game of Thrones episodes. To me, the
Yeah.
only show, the only series where the entire series was kind of poorly paced, in my opinion, is
Uh-huh.
Twin Peaks: The Return. I think the original
Oh,
Twin Peaks
no,
is
no,
still
Sarah
good,
Brucker just told you about,
but
just
I
warned
know.
you.
I'm
Sarah,
sorry,
don't
Sarah. I'm
unsubscribe,
sorry.
Sarah.
No, we love you, Sarah.
All right, Hobo Deluxe 007 said, no, it's not too slow. People are just too impatient and too used to instant gratification, or they have ADD. This is a series, not a movie, Bubba.
Thank you, Hobo Deluxe, a true loyal listener. Exert 2020 wrote, I have the same issue with Pluribus I had with Better Call Saul. 2 attempts to get through Better Call Saul, and I still haven't finished it. Yet I
Huh.
watched Breaking Bad 3 times, no problems at all. It's not just because of the action, it's because of the pacing. I haven't found Pluribus too bad personally, but there have been a few moments where I thought, oh, this is an unnecessarily long shot, and it's not adding anything. Exert ends by saying, I'm still really enjoying Pluribus.
Love it. And Shirley on Facebook says, I like the pace. I sit back and enjoy the art being presented.
Heck yeah.
I do wish they would hurry up and let the Paraguayan and Carol meet. Those two are fighters with great instincts. All Carol's reactions are a result of their unsolicited occupation. She gets a full pass from me. Better than the a-holes just having sex with them.
Oh,
Shirley, I'm
ouch.
with you. Let's do it.
Zombie Italian, another great listener who gives great feedback, wrote, I think Pluribus is supposed to make you feel a little frustrated and feeling alone. And I think Vince Gilligan succeeded in this. The moments of isolation and the moments of panic and despair. Unfortunately, in the time of 10-second TikTok videos and 1-minute reels, a lot of people have lost their patience for instant gratification, which may be that source of viewer frustrations. Again, just my opinion. But even with all that, Zombie Italian said, I do hope for a little more action in the next episode. Zombie Italian, let us know what you thought of episode 6. If it moved okay for you, it did for me.
All right, and DV says, this was for me the first episode that might have been a bit too slow.
Talking
I
about
like some
episode 5.
sequences like Carol finishing Helen's grave or the Hive leaving town. But when we get to Carol driving through town for investigation, I did wander off at times.
Whoa.
Fortunately, the drones were there for a bit of fun.
Heck yeah. Monsoon wrote, "This is a Vince Gilligan show. It's more Better Call Saul than Breaking Bad." In Monsoon continues, the payoff came in the later episodes of each season. So he thinks if it's slow now, there are going to be a lot of payoffs later. That's what he expects. Thank you.
The Dan Edwards says, if these two YouTubers, hey, you know what? I can't believe we're YouTubers, Bubba. That's awesome. Think Pluribus is slow. I
Yeah.
wonder what they think of the Italian art film La Quattro Volte, the
Oh,
four
man.
times.
I've seen a lot of what I think are, Italian art films, certainly Eight and a Half and a bunch of others. And I understand they're art films, so I guess I don't get antsy with the pace. How about you, Catfish? You see any Italian art films that
You
make
know
you
what
want
you know what I am an older YouTuber now, and so I have less attention for art films
to? Oh
than
no,
I used to. Also, I don't smoke weed the way I like used to, so that also doesn't help watching art
man.
films. All right, Boshank says I like the show, but it is moving very slowly. Also, I do not like how Carol is being written. She's wholly unlikable.
Whoa,
And that is, we talked about how that was a fascinating choice. I don't think she's unlikable, but I think she's a challenging character for
a
sure.
100%.
Skeptical Zach says, you two both have TikTok brain.
Man,
I don't even have TikTok, Bub.
I
I'm
don't
too
have
old for
TikTok
that.
either. I
All
don't have
right.
TikTok.
Oh, I am. RQS says, I'm loving Pluribus, but still, this last episode was really annoying.
Oh no.
Not just slow, but some weird decisions that isn't clear how they add up to the story. The reaction to the black screen at the end for such a slow burning show was really cheap and frustrating. Great chat either way, guys.
Oh, thank you so much. Telma Pyers wrote, "Hey, I really love your podcast. Severance, Silo, Only Murders in the Building. I would love it if you guys did Fallout. Catfish, I have not seen Fallout. Have you watched Fallout yet?"
I did watch the first season, it was delightful.
They continue, "Episode 5 was extremely slow despite the revelations. I don't find the mysteries in Pluribus extremely interesting at this point. They can make it extremely interesting, but up to this point, we spent a long amount of time shopping for groceries, digging a grave, finishing a grave. Well, hopefully you like this episode 6.
All right, and as someone who did like that episode better was Link Hogthrob, who gave episode 5 8 out of 10 double Ps.
Double P's?
Periodic payoffs.
Oh,
Oddly, this episode finally felt like we were advancing the narrative. I'm rebought in.
heck yeah.
Perhaps we need some more frequent periodic payoffs. It's heating up. Can the momentum sustain, or will we be back to painfully paced plot progression? That was a
Oh,
quadruple P
heck
that
yeah.
Link threw in there.
Lightning Storm wrote, "This season is only 9 episodes, not 13 or 26 like the old days, which is a little worrying, meaning at episode 5, we were more than halfway through and it didn't feel like the season would be a complete story.
Oh no.
Generally, I agree the pace feels okay. It's just this pace, when going to only 9 episodes, where are we going to be at the end of the season?" Lightning Storm asks. Good question.
The Nathan Geck says, no judgment at all, but I have to say I disagree with a lot of points about Pluribus being too slow.
Oh,
I'm
great.
probably in the minority here. Doesn't sound like it, Nathan,
No.
but I really enjoy the pacing and appreciate the time they take for world building. That said, I really enjoy watching recaps because they encourage me to think more critically about my own opinions and what I enjoy. Since you both shared similar complaints about slow horses, I'd love to hear what you both consider to be a perfectly paced show.
Great
Wow, that
question,
is a great
Nathan, who's
question.
given us so much great feedback. To me, the greatest shows of all time are Breaking Bad and The Wire. They both have different visual rhythms, but I didn't mind the pacing in either. I think Game of Thrones had a couple episodes where it'd be like, yeah, let's get on with it. But I not and generally I thought it's a great paced show, dark. I've covered 5 seasons of Only Murders in the Building. I've kind of had a handful of complaints about that show, but pacing has never been one of them. I say if you want a very slowly visual rhythm, slow paced show that I actually thought was really good, look at Rectify. It's a real small show, real different vibe, but that's probably the slowest pace I can go and still enjoy it. How about you, Catfish? What is a perfectly paced television program?
Oh man, you know what? I had not seen this feedback before. I'm gonna think about that and give like a real answer next week.
Okay,
I mean,
perfect.
I did love Breaking Bad and The Wire, both of them beautiful. Again, both of them short seasons.
That's
So,
true.
but this is also a short season. Now, the thing about The Wire, of course, that I think also helped make it perfectly paced was they would kind of wrap up a major storyline every season.
A hundred
And so
percent.
because of that, they were trying to tell a complete story every season.
Right, over 10 episodes. And
Yeah.
they succeeded so much. So 100%. Listeners, we're still going to be debating this. Did you find this episode 6 perfectly paced or was it poorly placed? Go down in those comments and let us know. We are still having feedback about our big question from the second podcast we ever did. How do you feel about Carol? Jim Rodney gave us this
Yep.
feedback. Jim wrote, I love this show and I'm often on Team Carol 100%. I root for Carol in every situation. I have
Way
never
to go. Way
trusted
to
the
go,
Hive
Jim.
Mind,
No,
even
don't.
from episode 1. They're clearly up to no good. And Vince Gilligan gave us a clue to that early on. Hence, go, Carol, go. Thank you so much, Jim.
Now we got some great feedback here from AJ says since we're talking about Breaking Bad and hate for Carol,
Mhm.
I never understood the hate for Skylar White.
Whoa.
I always thought it was extremely undeserved. Completely agree about that. And I think that, I think for a lot of people, and I think it's true, there is a tension about, we are okay with anti-hero males, but there's pushback on anti-hero females. And so I'm trying to be aware of that, but I do have a harder time with somebody it's just hard when somebody is down all the time. That's what makes it hard to be with them. I would say there have been some male centered shows where I've pretty much hated every, and I can't remember his name. What's his name? Who did the Pitcher Show? And,
The
and,
pitcher
and
show.
yeah,
He was a Major League Baseball player, pitcher.
no, no, no,
Sorry.
no, no. He did the this is so bad. He did the HBO show, and then he did the religious show on HBO.
You mean
The
John from
Gemstones.
Cincinnati?
Gemstones. What's his
Oh,
name?
okay.
What's
Sorry.
his name?
Oh, the pitcher you meant.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He did the show where he was the pitcher. The Gemstones. What the fuck? Danny McBride. Okay.
Danny
All right.
McBride.
So I will say that I have never been able to watch any Danny McBride show for more than 5 episodes because I find his characters to be disgusting. I just can't stand him. So anyway, but I do think the female part is part of it, but also just that she's so down.
They want Carol
Again,
to be this way.
yeah, they do want her to be this way. But when she says things like tell him to pick an effing apple, that's the kind of stuff that I want. I want from her. I love it. All right, so we got some feedback about the Soylent Green troubles
Heck
from
yeah.
Palm Pen and 3MD. He said they are crazy about efficiency, so this will be all the dead people, animals, etc. The problem is once they run out of resources, they will have to reduce the population, but they can't kill. Will the people in the hive mind start sacrificing themselves to feed the rest? And there will be none. This was great. This is great. This is what we were talking about earlier,
It
except they did
is.
it in about 2 sentences,
Heck
and I
yeah.
took 5 minutes. All right, the Leonard 16 says, "Hi, Double P Media. How do you like your milk? Whole fat, semi-skimmed, or human?"
Skim. I like skim with an M, not skin with an N type of milk, Leonard. Really cool on YouTube wrote, everyone believes Carol is going to find dead bodies. The real twist would be if it was something else. Well, really cool. It turned out to be dead bodies.
Yeah, I love it. Patman said, I enjoyed last week's podcast, especially Catfish's glee at having me 100%, 110% agreement with him in regards to Carol being above reproach when
Oh,
she drugged
man.
Sosia. At some point, Bubba might start making sense, possibly by accident, and
What?
then Catfish can bemoan my taking his side. Patman also goes on to say, I'm not necessarily a supporter of the theory that aliens are on their way to conquer Earth with Earth's arguably dominant sentience co-opted with an alien engineered telepathy virus. The astronomers mentioned that the signal seemed to be coming from an incredibly far off distance. Surely there must be closer and habitable, conquerable worlds for the virus engineers to get to. Until I see other evidence, I think the alien signal was the only thing coming from space and likely is the artifact of a long dead hive mind civilization.
Boy, there's something about this feedback that makes me think not alien engineered, but AI.
Zephyrcats gave
Zephyrcats.
episode 5 8 out of 10 double D's.
Wait, double D's.
Drone destruction. Vince says he wants to turn sci-fi tropes on their heads, so I feel like Soylent Green and Deserved Man are too obvious and have been done before.
Okay.
Hoping for something more interesting, and I love the joined ditchinger.
Heck yeah.
Zephyr, what do you think now about? I think the fascinating thing that happens now is not what the hive mind is eating, but what they aren't eating.
Heck
Things
yeah.
that they can pick or kill.
A great loyal listener is going to end the feedback for this week. Gen X Cat Mom, who's on Blue Skies at all mod cons, gave episode 5 8 triple G's out of 10.
Oh, yeah, triple G's. Wait, what? Triple G's?
Grumpy got ghosted. When Carol watched from the top of the hotel, I was cheering for the others. Carol got what she wanted and is now indignant like a typical Karen.
Oh,
The
God.
last shot could be Soylent Green, but I think Vince is too smart to go there. Well, it kind of was, and it wasn't Soylent Green. Love your feedback as always.
Oh, man. And it's someone whose sister is named Karen.
Uh-oh.
And when I talked to her about Pluribus, she said, I said, we're getting great feedback on the podcast. She said, is anyone calling Carol Karen?
Oh, no.
I said, yes.
Oh, no.
All right. Next week, we will cover episode 7, Fall into the Gap. Manusos begins a dangerous trek. He is alone to meet Carol. Returning home from Las Vegas, Carol gets creative with her rebellion. I love it. We love all your feedback. Keep it coming. Don't unsubscribe. Stick with us. Tell us how bad we've commented and give us the real scoop. And we'll talk to you next week on
Hi, Carol.
Carol.
Hi, Carol. Hi, Carol. Hi, Carol.